Today we're going to talk about water lilies damaging pond liner. I got a question I found on Twitter from a Clark Jansen. His tag is @condorfly, and his question was, exactly, will a water lily planted in the gravel of the pond damage the pond liner? I think it's a great question, and in my career I've never seen water lilies damage a pond liner. Now I'm never going to say it's never going to happen, because I never say never, because every time I think I've seen it all, something surprises me. But in my career, I've never seen it happen. I will tell you some cases, though, to have some concerns and some of my preferences. Early on in my career, we did a lot of ecosystem ponds where we did rock and gravel, and we would dig out a small pit and we would plant the water lily in that pit in the bottom of the pond, and the liner would fit right in there. We'd put some non-scented kitty litter in that spot. We'd plant that water lily in there, and it did actually very good. Then I noticed I kind of went away from that for a while, and then we just started putting water lilies in just the gravel. And I will tell you that the ones planted in that kitty litter tended to do a little bit better. So I saw those two differences when I did that. And the ones with the kitty litter you could put in, it had a little bit of soil, if you will, and you could push down some fertilizing tablets in that as well, so you'd get more blossoms and so forth. I do believe that I like to see water lilies put in nice pots if possible, if we can protect them. I think you're getting better water lilies, better blooms. One time I remember, well, I should say many times, I remember the first time we built this ecosystem pond. We hadn't seen it in about 10 years. We went back for a big clean out, and literally the pond used to be 24 inches deep. When we got there, the pond was about, I think it was probably 16 inches deep when we got back, because the water lilies had taken over the bottom of the pond. With no maintenance, a water lily can really get aggressive. And it's interesting because the first season or two, I don't think they bloom as well as once the organics start to build up. And if you leave that pond for many years, many seasons, without care and maintenance, organics can build up, and then they tend to explode and put off lots of blossoms, big fat leaves. But I think is really tough for us, because literally it probably took 2 to 3 men all day long, every bit of 8 hours, to strip out the bottom of that floor to regain the depth back in that pond. So if you leave those water lilies unchecked, they can do, I don't want to say damage, but they can really take your pond backwards a little bit. Imagine a 24-inch deep pond, only 16 inches now, because so much root mass is in the bottom of the pond. And so I think it's good to, if you put them in pots, you can pull them out annually for maintenance. And if you do put them in the gravel of the pond, you're just gonna have to get in there and drain that water down and get them up and strip them and manage them in the meantime. I think it's better if they're in a pot, because then you can fertilize them, because during the season, if you want big, beautiful blooms, you want to fertilize those particular water lilies really well. And a lot of people say, just feed your fish more so you can fertilize that water lily. But it's not quite the same. I think it's a little bit better when you take those specific fertilizer tabs that are, have the perfect amount of nitrogen and all this stuff to make the water lilies go like crazy. If you put it right in the root system, you're going to have better results for that. So I think it was a great question, Condorfly, and I like I said, I haven't seen it damage a pond liner to date, but I have seen it really set a pond back. And so I did one other pond in probably within the last year or so, where it was really difficult to clean the pond because the water lilies had taken over. It was hard to catch the fish out of the pond so we could do the maintenance. So I'd highly recommend that you do not neglect your water lilies for very long before you get in there and put them in check. So the question of the day is, tell me what your favorite water lily is, and tell me some kind of fun, unique story about water lilies. Maybe the strangest way you've ever planted them, the greatest depth you've ever planted them, the most shallow you've ever planted them. I'd love to hear some stories, but certainly I want to know what's your favorite color and the name of the water lily that you like the best. Until next time, I'm Eric Triplett, the Pond Digger, and this is Ask the Pond Digger Show. If you want us to ask your questions, answer your questions on the show, just hashtag Ask the Pond Digger. Put it up on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'll do my best to answer your question right here on the show. Thanks for watching.